Hello and welcome to the Factor 50 podcast, the podcast where comedians spill the tea on all their holiday misadventures. This week we have got the fabulous Alex Stringer with us. Hey, Alex.
Hey.
How you doing, girl?
I'm good. I'm tired. But I'm jubilantly not
Getting
celebrating the Jubilee. Yeah.
Like I was gonna say, are you feeling the Platty Joobs? You're not feeling the Platty Joobs? What's the stance?
I'm not a royalist,
Same.
and so I'm just like, but I love all the banter around it, and I love a day off, so I'll take it.
Exactly.
Love a day off.
Love a day
Multiple
off.
days off, like yesterday and today. So, as much as I'm like it was funny yesterday. I heard on the radio, it was like she's about to come on the balcony, and I was like, okay, well, unless she's delivering a monologue, I'm not interested. Like, I don't really get it. Like, where art thou? Wouldn't that be so epic if they did that once? Like
a Royal Shakespeare Company vibe. She just was like, okay, I'm just gonna hop onto some Romeo and Juliet right now.
And then could be like a crossover with Macbeth, like the ghost of Prince Philip on the ground. Like, where art thou?
Out damn spot. Oh my god. Oh my god, but it's like Lady Diana because she killed her. Oh
yes, it would be so good. That crossover would be amazing. I wouldn't. The rent on that balcony is probably a lot though. Like
so true.
True.
Maybe if we like saved up.
It did make me laugh though, seeing the pictures of like the smallest boy being like having his hands over his head, like it's really noisy. I'm like, oh, I love that. Like, you just can't control kids. They'll do whatever the fuck they want.
Iconic. He's really saying what we're all thinking anyway. So
yeah, for sure. This is like too much. That's what he was doing with that. He was like, no.
He was like, can we just tone down all this like monarchy
celebration?
Shit? Like,
yeah.
This is super cringe, guys. This is super cringe. It is cringe, isn't it? Oh.
It is, and but like part of me is like, I don't wish anything upon her or anything, but it's like it's quite obviously going to be the last one. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, oh yeah, get a day off, because we might not see that again in our lifetime. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just likely
until she dies, and then we get the funeral. We get the days off the funeral. I think.
Yeah, that's true. Actually,
I've heard we get like a week off when she dies, but I don't. That may be a rumor.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like I feel like some of the things that they kind of like drop in are just kind of like,
I think we must get a day off for the funeral, right? Like that's if we get a day off for weddings, surely we'll get a day off for funerals.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think we had a day off for the Queen Mother, so surely, like, I don't know.
I just feel like this is the way it should be though, like with the days off, because like I feel like we need to have this. Should be every week should be like this. You have 3 days of work, 3 days of having a good time, and 1 day of sorting your life out and washing your pants. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So, okay, let's get into it.
Okay.
So we'll start with the best holiday. What was the best holiday ever for you?
So I had a couple of contenders, because I went to Vegas, and when I was there, I saw Britney like live.
Oh my
I know.
Immediately, yes,
the best. And my granddad came with us, and he was like, I think like 75 at the time, and he was like fell asleep through most of it, and then came out and was like, she's not a very good singer. And I was like, that's not what we're there for. Like, that's not who Britney is. And I was just really trying to like explain to my granddad about like, when you're going to a Britney concert, like, ballads is not what you're there for. And he was like, okay, Alex. But yeah, so that was a strong contender. But I think my best holiday was so I kind of didn't realize it was problematic at the time, but 10 years ago I know didn't realize it was problematic at the time, and then in hindsight now I'm like, oh yeah, it's a bit. I went to Ghana to teach in a school when I was like 18.
You were that bitch.
Yeah, yes. I was that like gap year kid, but it was, to be fair, it was like it was a twin school with my school, so like I already kind of had a connection. But yeah, like looking back on it, I'm like, white savior complex, like all of that bullshit, like I'm like, oh, it's probably not the best. But I did have like the best time when I was there. Like you know, I worked in a school, and you know, sheep and pigs and chickens and stuff would like come into the classroom, and the kids just like didn't give a fuck. Like they were just like, oh yeah. And then when I was there, they were like, where are you from? And I was like, Liverpool, and they were like, never heard of it. And they were like, you know, and I was like, the Beatles, you know, that's kind of the main Liverpool thing. And they were like, oh, do you mean like and I was
like the insects.
No, I was like, you're joking. But it was like
the Beatles in Ghana. Come on.
No, I know, honestly, but obviously they were like 14 or whatever. Like, and
I mean, fair, yeah.
But they had, you know, the way we used to like wrap our school books in like wallpaper and wrapping paper and stuff. They also did that, but they had like pictures of the royal wedding, which was really random. So they knew who Kate and Wills were.
But not the Beatles.
No, I know. And they also had Hannah Montana. And it was just funny to me how, like, you know, I'm very aware of, like, you know, like the racism in our country is very prevalent. And you know, people are like, oh, you know, this bullshit of like they all look the same or whatever. But one of the kids genuinely thought I looked like Hannah Montana. And I had brown hair at the time, but I was like, wow, that kind of does cross over. Like they're like, all white people look the same. And I'm like, okay, excellent. So I was really, really anal about the mosquito nets and stuff, like proper tucking it in and everything. Whereas my mate who I went with, she was like, as long as it was over her, she didn't give a fuck. Like we were just so different. Whereas I was so wary of malaria, even though I was on malaria tablets, it was fine. And then when I was there, I was like reading my little book. It was like of a weekend, and I was in my little net and I was tucked into shit, and I was reading my little book, and all of a sudden I had a nosebleed. And I was like, fuck. And so I like scrambled out my net and ran the toilet. And when I came back, my net was covered in blood because of my nosebleeds. And I was like, those mosquitoes are going to be like, we.
Oh, because they're attracted to blood, aren't they? Shit.
Yeah, of course. And so then I had like a little shitty Nokia with me or whatever. And I messaged my mum and I was like, because she'd already messaged me earlier that day being like, what are you doing today? And it was like church and then nothing. Like we just would go for a wander or whatever. And so I went and I was like, oh, like never believe it. I've just had a nosebleed. And she was like, oh my God, same. It was so weird. We were on the same plane, but like 8 hours apart.
Wow.
But yeah, so that was amazing. And then she also sent over, we ran out of mosquito repellent, so we were there for a few months. And
oh wow, okay, it wasn't just like a 2-week like.
No, it wasn't like a jaunt. No, it wasn't like a holiday. Like it wasn't. I was thinking about that. I was like, it was a holiday, like, or I don't know, but essentially yes, because I didn't live. Yeah, I didn't like change my address. I think that's kind of when you're not on holiday anymore.
Yeah.
But also she sent over, we ran out of mosquito repellent, and she sent over like 2 boxes of stuff, and one had mosquito repellent and the other one had because they didn't have it in the shop or anything, because obviously they live with it, they're like, it's not that deep. And the other box had like,
it's not that deep.
Yeah, it's not that deep.
Malaria's like not that deep to us.
No,
like,
she's not that deep. Yeah, get over it. Like for them it's like, yeah, totally chill. And then we had in the other box we had like batteries, magazines, and she put in, she didn't know what chocolate would melt, and so she put matchmakers in because she was like, I think they could withstand the journey. And we lived in a because my school was like a Christian school, we lived in a novitiate with like 12 brothers who were all like training to be like brothers of the kind of
brothers of Christ.
Yeah, like I guess kind of a bit like Mormons, you know, and they go and they like become like
priests or like
elders
father,
or whatever.
Oh,
yeah, it's kind of a similar thing. So they kind of like they then get assigned to like schools, churches, hospitals, and they act as like the kind of religious person in that place. They were from all over Africa, so some of them had never seen water before because they'd lived in like a landlocked country, and so yeah, they were all like amazing. But because we lived in there, so we put the matchmakers in the fridge, and we came in one day and like one of the older like brothers had just like chowed down. I was devastated. I was like,
fair play to him. Do you know what I mean? Like,
he was like
no,
watching, he like loved the cricket, and he was like watching the cricket, and I was just like,
like, you have a fucking matchmaker's beach.
yeah, I was like, what the fuck? And then
that is a bit out of order, to be fair.
oh, it was so out of order. And my mum was like, did you turn them in? And I was like, no, because someone ate them, but it was fine. It was fine. We built a bridge and we got over it. We found a shop actually when we were there that's have had like little jars of Nutella. So in the end, I think my mum thought I was going to come back and be like really thin because I like wasn't eating like, you know, chippy all the time or whatever. But I like kind of stayed the same because I was eating Nutella like it was going out of fashion.
Just with a spoon out the jar.
Yeah, literally.
Oh yeah, the way to do it.
And also like when I was there, we worked in the school from like 6 a.m. till 2 p.m. every day because the school started like earlier because of the heat and everything.
Oh, okay.
And like when I first got there, like I hadn't trained my bladder to work around those hours. So like on like day 2, I was like, I need a piss so badly. And they were like, okay, you can like, there wasn't like working toilets on the school. There is now, but there wasn't at the time. And they were like, you're just gonna have to go and like squat and pee in a hole and then like cover it up. And I was like, oh no. And then the headmaster was like, one of the teacher's friends lives around the corner, so you can go and pee in her house.
That was so awkward. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
No, honestly, it was so awkward. I was just like, I just haven't trained my bladder. Like it was so embarrassing. Like I felt like a child. I was like, oh, I'm dead sorry. Like, is that okay? And it was still kind of like in the ground, but it was like, you know, I had walls around me. Felt a bit more like,
that's cute. That's like VIP.
Yeah, exactly. Like it felt more, you know, I felt a little bit more elegant is kind of the word that I'm thinking of, but it's I don't think that's correct.
Sophisticated.
Yeah, a sophisticated squat. That's kind of what it felt
the best you can hope for.
Yeah, but no, I had like the best time there. Yeah, it was amazing.
It sounds fucking incredible.
Yeah, I really recommend anyone to go. It's such a great country. It's beautiful.
But it's no Britney in Vegas. Two very different vibes.
So different, so different. But it was funny because I was trying to think of like, you know, like I've been in, I lived in Australia, I've been to Canada, I've been to America, but it's like, you know, in terms of like stories or like things that happen that you kind of retain, Vegas, literally, Britney was one.
Of course, that's a life-changing moment.
A life-changing moment. And then the only other thing was that if you sit in a casino in Vegas and look like you're gambling, you get free alcohol. So I was just kind of pissed the whole time I was there.
Amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, it was good. And like I wasn't even on the, you know, the ones where you just like pull it goes ding 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 or whatever, like if you win anything. I was just pretending. And she'd come over and be like, hi, what would you like? And I'd be like, oh, like vodka Coke or whatever. And then she'd go away and I just sat there and be like, I'll just pretend until she comes back. And then
amazing.
Great. It's so good.
Top tip.
Yeah, their turnover, their margins must be amazing that they can offer like free booze for
people must gamble a lot of money in these casinos because people are like, oh, I'm in Vegas, you know, YOLO, like I'm here to gamble, like I'm only here once, I'm just gonna fucking go for it. And then next thing you know, you're like remortgaging the house.
No. The reason why we saw Britney as well was it was part of my 21st. So like that was like my mum wanted to go to Vegas, my dad wanted to go, my granddad was kind of part of the package.
The best 21st birthday plan.
It was unreal. Honestly, like the hotel, we stayed in the hotel that the theatre was attached to, and the like key cards for the room had Britney on them.
Oh my God.
And so like when I came back, my housemate in London was like, can I have it? And I was like, yeah, like
Oh,
just a key card with Britney on it. But he
I would
was
keep
like
it. I'd
obsessed.
fucking frame. I'd probably put it in a scrapbook or something, knowing me.
Well, I
That's
was just like,
awesome.
I've got the memories, like you can have it.
Oh, it's so
But
kind.
yeah, but it was like, you know, now I'm like, oh,
But your
like
granddad wasn't asked. I can't. I mean, what did he expect? Like everyone knows Britney fucking lip syncs, and she doesn't even lip sync to like live. So she lip syncs off the CD. But do we care? No. Like, we all live for it
no,
because we're like, this is
no,
Britney,
he
bitch.
was just, you know, along for the ride. He would have probably much more preferred to go to like Cirque du Soleil or
Yeah,
something.
like a magic
But
show.
yeah, I think there was a Beatles show when we were there as
Oh, for
well.
God's sake, though, you're from Liverpool.
I
Yeah.
know, I know. Well, no,
You
it was
said,
like a Beatles Cirque du Soleil kind of crowd thing.
whoa, what a combo. Hang
It
on, was
was a
it
weird
like,
combo,
was it like,
but
hey,
yeah.
Jude? And people just like floating, like,
Yeah,
what?
on the trapeze, bruh. Yeah, no, but I was like, we were like, Brittany,
Oh, I
Brittany
mean,
bitch, you
there's
know.
no other option. We'll flip it now. We'll flip the script. We'll go explore the other side of the coin. What was the worst holiday?
Worst holiday was in Great Britain, could you believe?
Obviously, where else?
I know.
Hell
Where
Island.
else would it fucking be? And it was in Edinburgh. I love Edinburgh so much. I know.
Yeah.
But there were so many like reasons why this was the worst holiday. So I was like, I'd written a play in uni as one does, and with my housemate, and we got picked. We like basically our uni there was like a bursary for Edinburgh or whatever you wanted to use it for, essentially. And so 3 separate plays were picked, and they were only like 20-30 minutes long each. And so it was like we got the grant because it was going to benefit like 15, 20 people like involved in the shows or whatever. And so we went, and it was great. We had such a good time. And then it came to the last show of so we were only there for a week, I think, a week or two run. Like it was quick because obviously, you know, couldn't afford anymore. And so it was what we could all do. And
Sure.
so yeah. Our show was about to start, and we were just kind of running around trying to get, you know, really full audiences for our last audience of the week. And I fell and sprained my ankle.
Oh,
and but so badly I couldn't walk on it. Had to be carried to the venue, and then the venue staff refused to touch me because of legal issues. They were like, we're not allowed to touch you. And I was like,
I mean, come
okay.
on, surely like exceptions can be made.
No,
like, you were living a Queen of
honestly,
Sheba fantasy being carried.
I know. They were like, no.
No.
And then this random passerby who was seeing a different show in the venue was like, there's a hotel next door, I'll go and get some ice. So he looked after me more than anyone else. If he ever listens to this podcast, thank you, sir, so much. If you went to Edinburgh in 2013, I think it was, like, you know, big up to you. And so I couldn't be in the show because I had to go to hospital because they thought I'd broken it. And so my housemate who I wrote it with, she was the director as well, and she was the only one who knew the script well enough, so she was like, I'm gonna do it instead. And I loved the character that I played, and so I was really, really sad, had to go to hospital, had to wait in A&E, whatever. They did an x-ray, it was fine. And then my mum and dad had come to see the show the night before.
No. Oh, okay, they had seen it there. They got a chance.
They'd seen it, but they'd driven home, and so I rang them and I was like,
turn around.
I was literally like, no one can help me get on the train and I'm on crutches, so I can't like have my case. Is there any way you can come back and get me? And obviously, big up to my mum and dad, like, rather than going, no, fucking sort yourself, they both were like, yeah, just let us sleep and then we'll come back and get you. And I was like, okay. And so then the next morning I was asleep, and I kind of was like coming to, and I saw like, I thought it was like a mirage of my dad. And then I realized it was my dad. Like my dad was in my apartment in Edinburgh in my room.
What?
And I know. And
How
my
did he get
friends,
in?
so my friends had heard like this voice going, Alex, Alex, because my dad's like got a different accent to me because he's not from Liverpool. And then basically he'd pulled up on double yellows. I was in like the top floor of an Edinburgh, like, flat building or whatever, and had no signal. So I wasn't answering my phone. And then he was like on double yellows panicking. And then he got into the building and realized, he remembered that we'd lost our keys during the week. So
Of course you had.
okay, I know. So fucking Mick, Sherlock Holmes, was like, went through each flat looking for a new key, like a new lock that had been put in that was clearly new. And so he like chanced it, knocked on the door. Luckily someone, because everyone had gone out, it was the last night of Fringe, everyone was fucked. Obviously I'd just gone home and was sad because I thought I broke my ankle. And then someone's girlfriend went to the bathroom, and on her way back she heard like knocking, and so she opened the door and he was like, is Alex here? But obviously there were like 20 of us, and she was like, I think so, like
which one's that? Is that the Scouse one?
Yeah, I'm not sure. She was like, I think she's over there. And then and so like he came in, but then he was really pissed off that he'd had to wait on the double yellows for ages, and he thought he was going to get a fine, and he'd also had to drive back from Liverpool. And so then he was like really impatient, but I had to shuffle down every step on my thing. And I just had this like, northern older man who was not happy about how slow I was being. And so then we got in the car.
I got literally like broken fucking ankle on crutches.
Yeah, I know. And he was just like, come on, like we need to go.
That would be me, to be fair.
Yeah, like I think he just kind of lost all patience. Like I got the biggest silent treatment in the car when I got in. And then we couldn't go home to Liverpool because my sister was moving into her house in Nottingham. So we then had to go to Nottingham from Edinburgh. And obviously I just had to sit on a couch and direct people to where people had put shit because I couldn't really help. Like I could do stuff.
Oh, that's the worst
from
feeling
my
when
seat,
you feel like you're just
I was
there.
like,
like a spare part.
Those guys, like I couldn't even like put telly on because I was doing on telly or anything. And so I was just sat there like, this is shit. And then that night the Liverpool were playing in the Liverpool derby, so Liverpool v Everton football. And so we went to like the nearest pub, and I went to the toilet and had a wee, and as I got up, my phone fell into my wee.
Oh, into the wee as well, not even into like the toilet
wee.
water, the actual
wee. The actual wee.
Did you have to put your hand in and get it? Obviously.
I think my mum actually did it. My mum
Your
was
parents
with me.
are fucking amazing.
I know. She was amazing. Like I think I would have done it, but she was just she'd like kind of helped me because just so she could like hold the crutches and stuff. She was like, should I just come with you? And then I think she was just quicker at going, oh God, like electronics in wet.
You just don't.
Yeah, you just don't. And then I don't even think she realized. I think she just thought like electronic and wet and didn't really think about the fact that it was piss. And then like put her hand in, and then I was like, piss. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry, but you would never catch me doing that, offspring or not. I would not be putting my hand in. Nobody else is pissed. Fuck
no. I've got nieces, so I've done. I'll do
it for my own piss.
The dirty stuff, but like, minging. So yeah, that was that trip.
That sounds like a horror show from start to finish. Okay, so last section, dream holiday. What's the dream? I mean, you've been fucking everywhere by the sounds of it, but like if you could go anywhere.
Places. So I had a couple of options for this because I really would love to go to Japan at some point.
You
love sushi. Yeah, really want to go. But my main place that I've never been, which it sounds like, if a lot of people have been to Europe, they've been here. I've never been to Italy.
What,
And
at all? Anywhere in Italy?
No, nowhere in Italy. I know.
Oh,
And I
bitch.
love like pasta, pizza, ice cream, you know, could dabble, you know, in the
Hun,
Vatican and stuff.
you ain't
Like,
lived till you've had like actual pizza and pasta and that in Italy.
yeah,
Oh my god,
yeah.
that sounds wanky, but like, oh my god, bitch, you need to go and live La Dolce Vita.
I know. No, I want to live my Lizzie McGuire fantasy. Like, I
Right?
want to do it.
You want Paolo to sing to you and put you on the back of his moped.
Exactly.
That's what
Yeah,
every girl deserves.
I've got so much like want and willingness to go. But it's one of those things now that I like that at this point, it's like I feel like maybe I would want to go with like a partner or something, like kind of like and make it more of like a bigger trip as well. Like I'd love to go to like Portofino or somewhere like that as
It
well.
is cute,
But
'cause
I'd
the
love to
trains
do
are
the
great.
main places as well.
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
trains are like really good in it, and they're like quite cheap. So like and they're like really efficient and like nice. So
Oh,
you can
amazing.
easily do like, or like, so we like in 2020, me and James did Venice, then Florence, then Sorrento. And like Venice was amazing because it was like 2020 and like COVID, it was like fucking empty, it was stunning. Like, oh my god, you
Wow.
have to go. Like Venice is like, I've never been anywhere like it. Like it's just
Yeah.
like, magical. Like, you feel like on
Yeah.
a film set, like it's insane.
Yeah.
Like, go
Yeah.
everywhere, eat all the pasta, eat all the pizza. Oh,
Yeah, I'm so excited. Everyone, like, you know, that I know that's been is always like, oh my god, Italy's amazing.
But
Yeah,
but saying that, I know girls who have gone like as a group of 3 friends and like had an amazing time. I went to Rome with my family. Like, you know, it's not like a big romance vibe. Like, you can still have a good
no,
time.
no. I think I probably could go with like friends or whatever. It's just like, I don't know. It's hard because I think sometimes when someone's done a city break and they've done those places, they want to go elsewhere. And it just seemed like when my mum and my dad went, they went like when I was in uni or something. Do you know what I mean? And so it was like I obviously didn't go with them. And so like, yeah, it's just kind of like and then so I don't think my sister had been until she went with her partner or whatever. And then yeah, I just feel like anytime I've been like, hey, does anyone want to go to here? Like people are like, oh, I've already been there.
Yeah,
I don't really want to go
again. That's what is good about James. Like he'd already been to like Venice. We'd both already been to Florence, but he was just like, oh fuck it, I'll go again. Do you know what I mean? Like
nice.
He don't mind. And like I don't think either of us had been to Sorrento actually, but yeah, like you just find someone, just find a mate, like even
someone.
Find, and you'll meet some like a sexy Italian guy or girl, you know, like it's gonna.
Yes, it would be amazing. I might just even go solo. Like, who gives a fuck?
I was gonna say, just do that, or you can book like a tour. You know, like when you go like on a group with like other people, and then yeah. Like when we were in Sorrento, there was a group of people who were on some like random tour, and they were staying in like a lemon farm, and they were like, it was like super cute. So
oh my god,
yeah, options.
I love that. Yeah, definitely options. No, I feel like because it's so close as well, it just feels really silly not to have done it.
Yeah, the flights are really cheap. Like
well, yeah, honestly, it's so funny. Like so many people are always like, you know, I've been to like so many different places. Like I've done like Thailand and Vietnam and all those places as well. But then it's like Italy that is literally like stone's throw, and I'm like, no.
So I do have a couple of like bonus questions as well, just to like, wrap it up. I know,
okay. Surprise.
So the first one, would you cruise?
Yes.
Yes,
I've been on cruises.
Have you? You're the first person who's actually been on like an actual cruise.
Oh my god, yeah, I've been on a few with my mum and dad.
Tell me which. Oh my god.
So I've been on a cruise to like there was this one cruise, and it was like it does like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Oman. It was like 2 weeks, but it was like 700 quid all in. It was like really cheap, and like to go to all of those places as well, it was really cheap, and it was like around Christmas. But yeah, that was boss. And then I've done one around like Thailand, Koh Samui, and Vietnam, and Malaysia. Yeah. And then
Wow.
and then I also did the Disney cruise last year.
Oh my god, so that was
with my
Helen Bauer's
nieces.
dream holiday.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
It's
her dream holiday.
sick.
And then she said when I asked her if she would cruise, she was like, well, yeah, like the Disney cruise, obs.
Oh, it's amazing. Honestly, it's so good. I went with my little nieces. It was a bit weird, but it was good in some ways because the princesses were like, you couldn't stand next to them and get a picture. They were like on like a staircase. And so it was more like a waving thing, but you could like stand and be them be in the background, I guess, of a picture. But it was actually really good because my eldest niece is quite scared of people in costumes. So it was really good for her to kind of feel comfortable. Whereas normally we've got like so many pictures of her with, you know, people in costumes and she is just like sobbing, crying. So it was really good for her.
That's such like niche fear.
It's like, so no, honestly, it's quite common.
Yeah,
you're like, oh my god, like someone is like dressed up in like I think princesses less so. It's more like the guys in suits and stuff.
The mascots, the heads.
Yeah,
that's creepy as
like
fuck.
you can't see people's eyes, like it's fucked. So I totally get that. But yeah, so I've done cruises and I would 100% do them again. I think I'm going to Disney next year with like my family and my nieces and stuff. And we're doing like a Disney cruise as part of that. So I don't know what it is, but it's nice. It's quite safe, you know, because the kids are just like on a boat, like unless they fall
exactly. They can't
like
fuck up unless they fall in the sea, but like
but other than that they're pretty but and there's loads of ways of seeing, you know, all the people.
So this is interesting because everyone else I've had on has either been like, I've never done it, but I would, or they're like, no, never would. Like, because I think there's kind of a preconception that cruising is for like old people, but like you can advocate for young people at sea. Okay, so the second bonus question and final, what is your favorite motorway services?
It's so hard.
And I know that you drive, so you know.
I do. So I know. Is it T-Bay?
Oh my god, every fucking episode
everyone says there's T-Bay services. It is
the best,
so beautiful though. Like I have never been to a services that gives that much. Like when I went, I was like, oh my god, this is stunning.
It gives and it gives and it gives.
It is literally like wood, like woodland and like wood, like what you know, like when you go to like if you ever go to like Center Parks or somewhere like that and it's like wooden cabin type vibe but glass, so it's like classy wooden cabin. It's like good. That I love it. Like I'm like but I also quite like I think it's like Sandbach. It's not that far away from home and I think that's why I like it. It's not really because it gives much, it's like more just I'm not far from home.
Oh yeah, I think I've been there.
What
are we talking amenities wise?
I think it's got like
got a McDonald's.
No,
that stuff like that's
no, I know. I think it is M&S, WH Smith's,
of course,
Burger King, maybe a Costa as well.
I mean, that's fine.
I do think there are less McDonald's in services than there are Burger Kings.
Yeah, defo. They're like quite rare. They're quite rare gems on the road.
But the holy trinity is like for me, like Costa, M&S, McDonald's.
Yeah,
that's the holy trinity for me. If I get all three, I'm like yes, but usually it's like, so we've got 1 in 2 miles or 1 in 58 miles. What do you want to do?
It's such a stress, isn't it? So I think mine would be, I don't know if I have a trinity, but I just like KFC. I love on the road.
Oh, really?
Which you don't often see as well. But there's one when I drive down to my parents' house in Reading, we stop at Warwick, and Warwick services is great. There's always a KFC, and they've got that chopsticks noodle bar, which is also quite a nice little like a new addition. Yeah. So you know, and also like a Harry Ramsden's. If you want a chippy on the, I know.
Yeah, I'm not really a KFC person. I don't really like chicken like on the bone so much. I know they do boneless shit, but like
that's why I go. I don't be having the bone. I don't be having the original recipe. I have the fillets.
The fillet. Oh, okay.
Fillets
maybe I need to try more, and then I would be like, you know,
they're like the best. My favorite like fried chicken is like a KFC mini fillet.
Okay.
And they often have a promotion that's like 10 for £10. So we'll get like 10 and like split them.
Oh, that sounds really good.
It's the dream.